Today we're going to continue our team progression guide and talk about locals 3 and 4. If you've missed local 1 and 2, I'll have the video linked down below. And if you don't know what a local is, don't worry, I have a whole guide to explaining what these locals are and identifying them if you don't know how to. And that'll be linked down below too. So let's get into it, starting with local 3. So local 3 is a very interesting local. Its rares aren't as good as the others, but it does have some quite useful epics and good commons for late game. So starting off, like all the other locals, you pick up either Ionosaurus or Velociraptor. You'll get Majunga later in the day, or in the night actually, or even the next night, and then try going for some global day spawns like Nunda, Stego, Youthblow, and then both local commons for local 3 are decently good, so they're both worth going for, which are Parasaur and Lythronax. Lythronax, I think that's how you call it, that fluffy thing. So, Lythro actually has pretty amazing survivability when you look at it. It has long defense for some reason, which is pretty good. And Parasaur is a great common. It's 128 speed, and it has greater stunning impact, which is an extremely good move in the game. I used to use Parasaur quite a bit in early Sword of Marshes, but that was more for fun. It's not that serious of a pick. But when you look at the rares, though, to be honest, none of these local rares except Delta are worth getting in local 3. So if you get Delta, yeah, get that and replace Majunga with it. Delta. Which one's Delta? Is that Charlie or is that Delta? Oh, Charlie's the one looking back. This is Delta, yep. So then fill up the rest of your team with like global rares like Dimetrodon, Gorgosaurus, and Triceratops. And Amarga. I keep on forgetting Amarga. So you could take out Nunda for Dimetrodon, and then probably Ainea for Triceratops. And then Nunda, Ainea, Parasaur too, maybe for the Amarga. And also like all the other places, if you have Argentino, if you live near a park or go to parks often, I replace that Amarga with Argentino, because that's just a better Amarga. And then Lythro with Gorgo. And that should be good for your global day rares at least. And then if you go on enough evening strolls, you could get Nodosaurus and Utahraptor, which you could place Youthblow and Dimetrodon with. So we'll go do that. Youthblow for Nodo, just a better Youthblow, and Dimetrodon for Utah. By that time, you should have your first epic too, which is the Rex. It's a global epic. You get that from Arena 1. And so, yeah, it's statistically, it's the easiest epic to obtain. And that could go in and sub out Gorgosaurus. And before that, you should also have Neosukis too, which isn't hard to get at all. It's just level 5 Ainea and level 5 Neosukis. And then you could take that out, put that in for Triceratops. And this should be a good enough team to take you to at least Badlands, really. The next epic you should be going for is Stegoceratops, which you can take out Stegosaurus for. Stegoceratops, there it is. And then next up should be Nodopato and the 2 local 3 epics, which are surprisingly decent standalone epics. Nodopato can replace Argentino, And then Erliko can replace Rex, I guess. Erliko's a great dino by itself, and it kills raptors, which is good earlier on. Then Mono, I guess you could use, but it's more optional. It's a very situational dino. It's super fun to play with when you get that like 0 damage dealt. That's super fun. You could sub it in for I don't know, Velociraptor or Utah if you really want, but I'd probably keep those in maybe. The next dino you should be getting is actually Tragodistus. It's a legendary, but since you live in local 3, you get Parasaur pretty easily, which is what most other locals lack when creating Trago. And of course that's a great dino, so you could put that in for maybe Utah. You could also put it in for, I guess, Nodo too. Oh, let's do Nodo. And then the next 2 legendaries you should be getting are Indominus and Seudius. Indominus you could take Delta out. Delta, or Velociraptor. They're, Velociraptor... thing about Velociraptor is it isn't a really good dino, per se, in comparison to the other raptors. But the only thing it does is it outspeeds Pyro and Charlie and Blue and the other one, Delta. So that's why maybe keep it in, because other people will have Delta, other people will have Pyro. So that's one check to it. So you could take out Velociraptor too, but you could also keep it in. And then Stegotheus should be subbed in for Nodopato. It's just a better Nodopato. And if you happen to get Charlie or Pyro from the other 2 zones, you could take out Utah for that. Where's Charlie? And then, due to the local legendary being Monolophosaurus, if lucky, you could get Monostegotops, and you could sub out Erliko for that. I don't have Monostegotops, so I'm just gonna throw in Mono. If I could find it. Yep, Mono. I almost had Monostegotops, but I'm just super unlucky on Monostegotops fusions. So the next viable dino you'll probably get is Indoraptor, which is the unique, and it's a great substitute for like almost every dino in the team since it's the best dino in the game. But if you're to pick off the weaker ones, it's probably Iniasuchus or Erliko if you didn't take out Erliko before, or you could take out one of the Raptors. I'd probably take out Velociraptor, to be honest, for Indoraptor, or even Iniasuchus. I'll just do that then. And depending on the levels, if Iniasuchus is higher than Velociraptor, I'll keep Iniasuchus, to be honest. And if it's the other way around, I'll just keep Velociraptor. Since you're in local 3, early Indoms shouldn't be that bad of a choice if you can afford to level it up easily. So I guess you could invest into that. That could swap out Velociraptor or Iniasuchus, whichever one you didn't pick. And since I don't have early Indom, I'm gonna just put in Erliko over here. And the last dino you probably need is Utasaino, which you could use to swap out the last raptor, Charlie, I guess. And again, I don't have Utasaino, so I'm just gonna put Utah in here. I mean, I could make it, but I'm just holding out all my DNA for the next patch. So this is, I guess, your endgame team for local 3. Just a reminder, since if you like skipped over something, like that's early Indom, not Erliko. So we got early Indom, Indoraptor, Trago, Stegosera, Monostego, Indominus, Stegoideus and Utah Sino. Like some of these you can replace with other dinos too if you want Alicino or Magnapyrator if you could afford that. Maybe Megalosuchus, Spinotosuchus, maybe even. You could take out, like Indominus. You could take out early Indom. You could take out Monostego even, Trago, if you want any one of those. So, yeah, that's basically what you get for an endgame in Local 3. So moving on to Local 4, this is a very interesting local. Most people will think that this is the worst local, and I'd agree to an extent, mostly because its epics don't have any hybrids and aren't as good on their own either. So just from the looks of it, it has probably some of the worst dinos in the game. You got Spino, Sigmimus, Spino Gen 2, but to be honest, Local 4 has probably the best early game dinos like Werho, Tanny, Charlie, who are very viable, I'd say, even in late game. So let's get into this. Like the other locals, starting off with Velociraptor and Ionosaurus, then getting the global commons like Uplo, Ninda, and Stego. And be sure to get lots of Tannys. Tanny is a great common, probably one of the best commons in the game. And by night, you'll get yourself a Majungasaurus and the Gen 2 Trike, which is a Ceratopsian with Rampage for some reason, so that's pretty nice. Then on to the global rares. Triceratops should be an easy replacement for Ionosaurus. Oops, I just opened Ionosaurus. That took long enough to load. So Ionosaurus take that out for Triceratops. And then Dimetrodon should take out Nindasuchus. Gorgo could take out Majunga. Well, Armargo could take out, Gen 2 Trike. And remember, as always, you could take out Amarga at any time for Argentino if you have the means to do so. Going into local rares, Werho is a phenomenal rare, so that should be a must-have if you're in Local 4. So take out Stego for Werho, or whatever you call it. And then, as soon as you can, Ionosuchus should be created, so you could take out Gorgo for that, actually. Trike too, but I'd take out Gorgo. Night rares are worth going for too, of course. Nodo can replace Uplo. But this time we're not going for Utah, since we're in Local 4. Charlie is a better option here. It's faster and hits harder than Utah, and it's more easily obtainable, so swap out either Trike or Dimetrodon for that. I'll just take Dimetrodon out. Which one's Charlie? Oh, it's this one. And when you get Rex, you could take out Trike. And there you have a perfect team for rolling over Badlands, and if they're all around level 10, you should get to like mid-high Badlands, no problem. Maybe even low lockdown. Since you're in Local 4, Spinotage shouldn't be a bad pick for you. It has Distracting Impact, which is quite a strong move. It just lacks some stats. You could replace Rex if you want with it. It just has more counters than Rex, but has a better chance of surviving and taking a hit or two on the next dino. And Rex is more of a 1v1 dino, like it kills something, but since it's too slow, it's just going to get wrecked by whatever just comes in next. And after getting Stegoceratops, forgot to put this guy in. Oh, yeah, I'll just put him in. Why not? Just have some variety since we're in Local 4. And after getting Stegoceratops, you could replace Nodo for that. Yep, it's right up here. The next viable epic should be Nodopado, which if you get enough Nodos at night, you could get that, which you could place Argentino / Amarga for it, depending on which one you use. There's Nodopado, and then this would take you to like mid-high lockdown or even early Sorna Marshes. As your first legendaries, Indominus, Stegoideus, Trago, the same old 3 really easy to obtain legendaries, and they're all good legendaries to use anyways. And Stegoideus will replace Nodopado as usual. Trago could take out Spinota, to be honest. Spinota just doesn't have the better stats for it. It's kind of like a worse Utah Sino. But yeah, you could do that. And then Indominus could replace Tanny, I guess. Thing is, Tanny gets like easily countered, and after its initial 2 or 3 turns, it just gets really sluggish, and it's just harder to use. If you do visit local ones enough, you could get Spinotasukis, which is a dino with great stats, but really a really underwhelming moveset. But if you want, you could take out Anyasukis with it. And again, I don't have Spinotasukis, so I'll just put Spinotaraptor here. Next, you'll get Indoraptor, which is the best dino in the game as of now. And since you have Stegodeus, you could retire your Werho for that. And another must-have probably is Utah Sino, which you'll need to get from local 2, so it will take a bit longer since Sinos aren't the easiest epics to come across, as you might have heard. And that could replace your Velociraptor, or even Spinotaraptor, depends. And again, I don't have that, so I'll put Utah here, which is a Utah Sino. And this is basically a decent endgame team for a local 4 player. And post endgame dinos like Monostego, Magnapyrator, what else? Alosino maybe, Megalosukis, all that. You could probably replace those with Spinotasukis or Charlie, even depending on your situation. Maybe even Trago. So there you have it. That's an endgame team for local 4. You'll need some more work to get this team than other locals, since you don't have that much access to the better rares and epics. But if you work hard enough, you'll get there, and you get a decent advantage early game. So if you want to climb the ranks faster, this is the local to be in. So that's it for part 2 of my team progression guide. Remember, this, of course, is not a definitive guide, and not everyone follows this. It's just a general guide in some directions a team takes. It doesn't account for say, events, incubators, levels, none of that. And so that's it for this series. This, of course, is recorded before July the 21st. So version 0.29, I think. And Futures update will change this a lot, of course. So I will be remaking these once an update comes out, maybe, if you guys want. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you think this was helpful and you think you got something out of it, please leave a like and subscribe if you're new. I'll see you guys in the next video.